All right. Okay, so I want to first, this is review. Okay, problem 1 and 2. They are the same problems, except one is simply asking you to factor. Problem 2, anything on the right side, I put it equal to 0. Okay? So I want you to see that. If a problem, you know, you get on a quiz next week and your problem says solve it, do you take it the full way down and solve it? Okay? So let's just go. Problem 1 is a review problem. Tell me how I tackle that, separating it into 2 parentheses. Somebody help me out here. Christian, what do we do?
15 on each side.
I'm talking about problem 1. There's no 2 sides. It's 1 side.
Oh, you're talking about
We're not completing the square either. I'm just factoring. How do we do this?
Multiply the outsides.
Okay. All we need to do is pull the 15 and see the factors that add up to 8. Now, if there is a number in front of x squared, we would multiply it with the 15, split the middle term. I'm going to give you the quick ones so that we can kind of move forward. 2 numbers that multiply to give me 15 but add up to 8. 3 and 5. So this is a quick x plus 3, x plus 5. Okay, no problem. If it just said factor, you're done. If it says solve, okay, you've got to be on your game. We do the same work here. X plus 3, x plus 5. It is equal to 0, so we'll set those factors. Equal to 0, and we'll solve. We get x equals negative 3, and x is equal to negative 5. Okay. One thing I want you to note, make a note of, mental note. That process is really 1 step and done. If I gave you the 2 solutions, could you come back and put them back into parentheses and then multiply it back together? If I gave you the answers, could you come up with the 2 factors? So you know that x equals negative 3 would give me an x plus 3. Okay, make a note of that as we go forward. Okay, questions before we go to problem 3? Okay, problem 3 is a special circumstance problem, and I've kind of gone over this with you, but maybe not just had a day where we had that category of problem. Anybody want to give me a shot on how to break x squared minus 16 apart? Okay, and this may be something that you're like, I'm not sure. There's no middle term. If there's no middle term, what's the piece in the middle, really? 0x. So this is really, and this is the only time I'm going to do this. Okay, I want you to make a note here. Again, this is a middle note, guys. Make sure you're paying attention to this. This special circumstance will work if you have a perfect square and subtraction in a perfect square. I promise you it will work every time. You don't have to do any work for these. I'll show you how. Negative 16 has to add up to 0. What are the 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 16 but add up to 0? 4 and negative 4. Okay? Okay. Okay. Hear me out on this. As if you have, I'm going to put this right here. That pen is right here. If you have x, a first term that's a perfect square, and you have subtraction, and you have a second term that's perfect square, you can go straight to the parentheses. Okay? If that is confusing and you forget, you can always add the 0 back in and do the step. Okay, so as soon as I see x squared, this is x times x, and I see 4 times 4, I can immediately go down to x plus 4, x minus 4, because I know the middle term's canceling. If you did the box method, you would have the diagonals would cancel. Okay, so I come over here. This is an x plus 4, x minus 4 equals 0. So x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0, x is equal to negative 4, x is equal to positive 4. So if it says solve it, we take it a step further. Okay? These special circumstances will save you a lot of time if you know what you're looking for. Okay, and I'm all about being efficient. Okay, problem 5. I'm going to go about it the shortcut way. And I want everybody make sure you are watching this. This will save you a lot of time. It will help you out down the road. Okay, I am factoring. And the requirement right now is that there is subtraction between the two factors. We have perfect square of 3x and 3x. I have a perfect square of 5 and 5. Okay, I can go straight into my factors. This is 3x plus 5 and 3x minus 5. If there is subtraction here, I know that if I do the box method, the middle term, which is 0x, will cancel out. If you are confused on this, you can always do this. And then you'd have to multiply 9 and negative 25 together, split the middle term, and factor by grouping. If you're on top of your game and you know that there's a perfect square, and a perfect square we have subtraction, we can go straight into our two factors. Okay? Special circumstance. So here's the second one. I know it's going to be 3x plus 5 times 3x minus 5 equals 0. 3x plus 5 equals 0. 3x minus 5 equals 0.
Is that it?
What's that?
Is that all of it? Like, that's the rest of the
That's it. We would be done with the breaking it apart. Yep. Now, answer your question, Christian. If it is equal to 0 like this, then we have to take it a step further. If it says solve it, we need to take the two factors and set them equal to 0. Okay. So I get negative 5/3. Okay, and positive 5/3. Okay. I want everybody to get caught up there. We're going to take just a short breath, and I'm going to now change. And this is the new stuff. This is the last little piece. If there is a plus in between the two factors, we have to go about this differently. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to simply miss this stuff. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention. There is a one problem on your review that's going to be like this. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay, flip the page over. Okay, I just want you to kind of watch this. Let's make sure you're paying attention. And I'm going to show you a reason why we can't just break these apart. Okay, so just kind of pay attention to this. You don't have to write anything. Okay. So I'm going to attempt, this is not correct. So I'm going to say this is x times x, this is 4 times 4, and the mistake will be that somebody's going to come in here and say this is x plus 4 times x plus 4. That is not correct. Okay? If this was, let me do this. If this was x squared minus 16, okay, again, I'm going to show you this. Make sure you're paying attention. This is x plus 4 times x minus 4. That is correct. Okay, I cannot break this one apart into two x plus 4s. Here's the reason. If I do box method, and I try putting these back together, that's an x squared, 4x, 4x, and 16. So if I claim that this is equal to x squared plus 16, and we multiply it back together, we're getting x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay. If I break this apart, we get x plus 4 and x plus 4. Okay? So we've got a little bit of an issue. If I go over here and I say we have x squared minus 16, and I said we can break it apart like that, x 4, x negative 4. Okay, that's x squared, 4x, negative 4x, negative 16. Those cancel. X squared minus 16, it does equal. Okay, so how am I able to break it apart? I'll show you real quickly. Okay. If it has a subtraction between, we can go straight into our two parentheses. Addition is different. Okay, I'm going to go about this, and I'm going to look at the solving first. And all I want you to do is to watch this. Okay, I'm going to look at it. I said we could do this, correct? And we would say x is equal to negative 4, x is equal to positive 4. Is everybody following me here?
Yes.
Okay. Another way of solving this is I could add, this is from 2 days ago, I could add 16. X squared is equal to 16. Take the square root. Okay, could you take these two answers and put them back in the parentheses they came from? Okay, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, on number 8, I'm going to do this from the solving, and then we'll go back to 7. I'm going to actually do a subtract 16. I want you to do this part, okay? X squared equals negative 16. I'm going to take the square root, and again, this is the new stuff. It will be on the quiz. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 16. Okay, what is the square root of negative 1? I. Okay, I'm going to pull that. Remember, this is I, so x is equal to plus or minus 4i. Okay, make sure you're focusing on this. If I wanted to really write it out, this is x plus 4i times x minus 4i. That is those are the parentheses that would have produced our answers if I would have factored. Okay, I'm going back over here, and we're going to work these. I'm going to do this side by side. X squared minus 16 versus x squared plus 16. Guys, make sure you're focusing on this, okay? These will be really quick if you know what you're looking for. If there is a subtraction between, we can simply go x plus 4, x minus 4. I know my two answers for this problem are 4i and negative 4i. If there's an addition between, this is x plus 4i and x minus 4i. You cannot factor the sum of two squares unless you include the imaginary. And I don't care if you write this part out, I just want you to watch, and we're going to move on. Okay, if I am trying to put these back together, I have x squared, 4x, sorry, this should be a negative 4 here, 4x, negative 4x, negative 16, middle terms cancel. Okay, on this one I have it x squared, a 4xi, negative 4xi, they cancel, and I have a negative 16i squared. Well, that's negative 16 times negative 1, which is positive 16. So x squared plus 16. If you have the sum of two squares, you have to include the imaginary. Questions?
Is it always going to be like, for the first one, is it always going to be like x plus 4i?
If it, let me make sure, yes, I mean this is the part that I'll go over. If it is subtraction here versus addition, okay, the front page was all subtraction. The middle term is 0x, okay, then it will be just x plus 4x minus 4. You just take your two perfect squares. If it is an addition, you need to include the imaginary part so that these will cancel out. Okay? Let's go down to problem number 10 and 9. And I'm going to kind of work backwards on this. I'm going to make sure you're paying attention. Let me do one other. Let's go real quick. I just want to show you before we get to 10 and 9. You can just watch this. If I gave you x squared minus 25, x squared plus 25. Okay? If there's subtraction, I can simply go x plus 5, x minus 5. Okay? If there's addition, it's x plus 5i, x minus 5i. Yes.
Will it ever be like harder than that, or will it always be that simple?
No, it'll always be that simple, except the only thing I'm going to throw at you is we can have more complicated perfect squares. Okay, you've got to be on your game. If I multiply these back together to make it work, you do not have to write this part. I just want you to see it. X squared, 5x, minus 5x, minus 25. There's my x squared minus 25. You need to remember, if you have subtraction, we can immediately go there. If you get stuck and want to put the 0 in and do the cross, you know, you can do it. Here's an x, a 5i, x, negative 5i. For us to be able to work this, this is x squared. I know this looks crazy, 5xi, negative 5xi, those cancel, okay? and I get a negative 25I squared. That's negative 25 times negative 1, positive 25. Okay? Okay, let's go down on number 9. And I'll even do this. Let's make sure, please make sure, we're going to be done here quick. One of them is addition, one of those are subtraction. Okay? This is 3x and 3x and 5 and 5. I always look for GCF first as well, which we'll do at number 11. So on this one, we have a 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. Questions? Okay, this one we're going to have a 3x plus 5i, 3x minus 5i. If there is addition between, we've got to include the imaginary. You could factor. I could also do this, minus 25. 9x squared is equal to negative 25. That's the same thing. We have addition here. 5 by 9. Take square root. Oops. Okay, plus or minus. I'm going to pull the I part out. Sorry guys, I'm getting off. So this is plus or minus 5 over 3 I. If you set these equal to 0, and we solve them, we're going to get 5/3 and I, negative 5/3 I. Okay, let's go to problem 11. I know, hopefully this is, you got it. If I have perfect squares, we can work this method. If one subtraction, we just go straight into the two factors, one positive, one negative. If it's a positive, a plus between, we have to have include the I. Okay, GCF. Look real quick. Number 11.
8.
Okay. 8. We have x squared plus 4. Okay, I'm looking at the plus. We'll keep the 8 outside here. X plus 2i, x minus 2i. Yes, questions? If we have subtraction in between, it would be x plus 2, x minus 2. Question?
Why is the 8 outside?
We have to factor as GCF. Does that make sense? You got to look for a GCF. This is 8 times 4, this is 8. So I pulled it out, we have 4 left. If I simply ask you to do this, 8x squared plus 32, this is 8 times x squared plus 4. I mean, those are, if I distribute this back, we're going to have 8x squared. Okay? Okay. I'm going in on this one. I know that this factors to 8 And I'm just going to go straight over here. X squared plus 4 equals 0. 8 x plus 2i x minus 2i equals 0. So my x plus 2i, if we set it equal to 0, x minus 2i, we set it equal to 0. You get positive and negative 2i. Okay. As last thing, just for a comparison, I know those are my two answers. Guys, make sure you're listening. If I solve this and we said it's 8x plus 32 and I want to try to take the square root of both sides, this is the factoring process. We go minus 32. 8x squared equals negative 32. Divide by 8. X squared is equal to negative 4. I take the square root. X is equal to plus or minus 2i. So this is the factoring way. We could extract the roots also. We could take the square roots. Here's the question. If I gave you 2i and negative 2i, could you tell me the parentheses they came from? Could you tell me that if we have 2i and negative 2i, that those are the parentheses if we did a factor? Okay, you can work your way back. Alright, questions? Okay.